But let's bring on Brains McLeod. He answered the call, and here he is, Mr. Brains McLeod.
You guys whipped out your genie, you rubbed its belly, you asked for a McLeod, and he arrived.
God, I wish I asked for something like Tottenham to finish top 4 or Tottenham to win the league or something like that.
Why did you wish? Why did you waste your wish on me?
Yeah, that was it. We're done for the year now, Brains. So we've got it. It's better be a bloody good call. It's better be a good call, Brains.
You could have had amazing sex. You could have had a Spurs win. You could have had Kane scoring again, but you asked for Brains McLeod.
None of that even touches a Brains McLeod call.
Oh, God.
Brains,
wow.
1-0 today at Turf Moor, was it?
What a win. What a win.
Was it a hard-fought victory today, or was it still another lackluster performance from Tottenham?
I can't believe I chose not to take a nap and watch that game. It was just, the thing is like, you watch David's pump up shows and you're like, all right, okay, we can do this. Before the Irish Hotspurs pump up shows, you're literally thinking, we can't win a game. We just can't win a game. You watch his shows and you're thinking, all right, we can fucking do this.
So they're working.
and then the kickoff starts and you're like, fucking hell. Kicking things over.
Honestly, like plays one ball out of play. You're like, oh my. Why did I ever think he can? Exactly.
Someone put a long ball over the top for Ben Davies to chase. What the fuck is this? It's like this guy is a 1920s footballer. He's not chasing that. What the fuck? The guy's 110 years old. He just looks good. Ah, man. Honestly, and like I was watching that. Like I was watching it because I need someone just to tell me, like, why does anyone say anything positive about Steven Bergwijn? I watched that entire first half, and he never did. He even when he made one good thing, he got to a certain point and then messed it up. Like everything else, like ball hits off his knee when we're attacking, like pass goes this way. He's got literally no delivery. I just didn't see why he was on that pitch. After a certain point, it's like. And you can see it must be like he must think to himself after the next ball goes out, next ball goes. Every time he a ball spins off him, it's almost like I hear in my head like like these sound effects. It's like he's been like if you put it, like I said in the chat, if you put like a highlight reel of Steven Bergwijn's time at Tottenham, it would be scored by Benny Hill. Just everything goes wrong. Like. It's crazy. Like, I just need someone to tell me, like, why is this dude?
I tell you what the sense I get when it comes to Bergwijn, as when I look at him today, is that I feel like, obviously, Son's got that left-hand side nailed down. So I feel like when he gets the opportunity, he's always like, I got to get a goal. I got to get an assist. I got to do something for myself. He's not like playing with the team. He's not like laying it off to Kane, passing and moving and running in behind. He's kind of like, I got to beat this player and get a shot off. I've got to get down to the byline and get a cross in and get an assist. And I feel like he's thinking too much within himself instead of actually being part of a team and, actually being a part of a fluid forward line. He's thinking too much of like, I got to do this if I want to be in the starting lineup. I got to be there for myself. And maybe that's hurting him.
Yeah, he just needs to maybe calm down then, because I'm kind of I remember him having 2 decent games, like maybe both times, like his intro against Man City, and then this season against Man City he was decent. Maybe for the little skill thing he did against Wolves, but that's it. And all the time he's played, and yet every time a new coach comes in, like, oh, this guy, or like people go on, it's like, oh, Steve Bergwijn's back in the team, and I'm like. Why? I would have rather Lucas started. I get that we maybe wanted to give Lucas a bit of a rest and had Gill on the other side. But I felt it was also kind of a little bit. It was tough for Gill to be subbed for Lucas to come on, because Lucas just even when he did something wrong, he did it with purpose. He's like, he's moving the play. He's trying to get something going. He gets the ball, turns, aggressive, attack. You know, it's just like to any other attacker to go off. But Gill, who's, you know, struggling to get his foot in the team, has a little bit of a tough one tonight, and then he goes off with an injury, and then Lucas comes on, and he's just action Jackson. He's making things happen. So, like, really impressive to see Lucas. At one point, he chased all the way back, and he won a ball. Like, just pure. That for me, I think, is we should always appreciate Lucas's heart. You know, like He's got such spirit. You know, like he's got such spirit, and like, you know, I always think of like not just his hat trick against Ajax, but every time he plays, I just love his mentality of like, give me the ball, turn, go. You know, and sometimes that way of playing isn't going to look great because the ball will get away from you and some things don't work, but at least he tries. If you could just duplicate that spirit across everyone in the front line or the team, you'd have an amazing team spirit, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Last time we spoke to you after the West Ham game, you were calling for Harry Kane to come out of the team. Do you still feel like that, or did he do anything today to change your mind?
No, like I watch wishing he would. Like I wish he would. I really do. Like Connor was saying that, you know, watching the team, and by the way, I thought everything Connor said was just like 100% spot on. I'm like, he's taking all my points, the motherfucker. But no, but like he was saying, like watching the team was like watching them play in slow motion. And I watching Harry Kane, I was like, Kane's in slow motion, but he's in sinking sand on a treadmill going backwards. Like this, you know what I mean? Like he gets, I don't know if you saw Nketiah's goal last night, like just the opportunist goal. He's like runs through.
Yeah, he tried his best to miss that.
Yeah, it spins, you know, but that's what I'm saying. Like when you are positive and you're kind of like, you've got the spirit going, like little things might go for you. Comes off his shin, bobbles in, but he had to do so much to control the ball, bring it down. Kane was in a better situation tonight where that ball got put over. Sonny put the ball quickly over. And I feel like he kind of had to take a time to turn. It was like, but Kane, you were running that way. How did, and everything that happened after the ball went over, it dropped closer to him. I feel like there's no way Pope gets to that ball. He was so slow to move and react. And the whole game, it just seems like it's like something just isn't working with the guy. Whether it's the head, not telling the legs to work, but it's sad to see, man. It really is. When you love a guy, when you love watching this dude who's like averaging 30 goals a season for us, just not be able to get his legs to move properly. That, for me, it's killing me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it's not like I want him to leave because I don't like him. I've got Kane shirts. Every season I'll buy a Kane shirt, you know, not for a little bit just because fuck Levy, but yeah, it's just it kills me when he doesn't play. You know what it's like when it was like Gary Lineker went through a little stage as well like that, you know, and he kind of and it's horrible to see when it's your favorite player and they go on a shitty little run. So, but this just, can you guys see this ending anytime soon? Like, genuinely, do you think it's just a case of he needs a couple more and he ticks on?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I think he's not playing well. The team looks so passive and they look so devoid of any ideas when we're on the ball. I think that also doesn't help the whole situation because it kind of puts extra emphasis on Kane to do something when he does get the ball, and then when he doesn't do that, it kind of plays into, well, he's not looking on it, he's not coming up with, like last season, even when we weren't looking great, Kane would just come up with a great pass or something. Yeah, and right now it's you know, we're making it it's tough because he's not, and the whole team aren't playing that well, and it's kind of playing into that. So I'm just crossing my fingers that when the team dynamic improves, he will improve. But at the moment, it's tough. It is tough watch.
Do you think in January we need to get someone? We need to get something
100%.
as a backup because we can't keep going like this.
God, yeah. I mean, that's been the case for 5 years probably. We need someone back up to Harry Kane. But they even more so now. And I think
Llorente's a free agent?
Not anymore.
Oh, not anymore?
He signed for Elche yesterday.
Oh, well, we're lost another one then.
So
I
like,
was watching Woods and Barnes come on there, and I'm like, I would have taken them as backup strikers.
they have more attacking options than us. Bloody hell, Burnley.
Yeah.
And the problem is also what I think with Kane as well is one of the reasons probably why he's so frustrated is because he was so heavily relied on last season, and he played out of his skin, and we still finished 7th and failed in all the whatever we needed to do, and yet yet he wanted to leave, and now he's coming into another season where not only are we coming to another season where the squad is looking thin, but we're actually asking him to probably be even better than he was last season with even less help, and he's probably just getting a bit fed up.
And we've all been talking about like insane price tags, 150 million and stuff, and then so you're thinking, well, if that's the kind of number we're all expecting, we want that number from him this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we're getting is like around 40 million less, way less. You wouldn't, if you bought someone for 40 million, you'd want, a few goals. You wouldn't. This is kind of it's tail diving. It's.
If we just brought in Harry Kane this summer for 30-40 million, he'd be considered a flop right now.
But it's early days. But when you look at the team overall, is this a team that you think believes in how they're playing?
No, and I think what Connor was saying was like right to the heart of the problem. Like, and it's not a problem that we can really skip over. It's this having a coach at the side who just crosses arms and doesn't really say anything, is just not a character at all. When you look at Klopp, he's a character. You want to see Klopp's post-game like shit, because he's gonna what did you say? He's gonna challenge. He's like he's at it. His brain's going. He's like constantly thinking about football, and he wants to win. You win by a big score. He's like, forget it. I want to win the next one. He's got that he's got that thing in him. And the same with Pep. Pep's just sit down, shut up. Like you could never imagine. Like I was just saying to my housemate, we're just laughing about like imagine at halftime how Nuno goes in, just strolls in. You got players sitting there smoking a doob with their feet up. All right, Nunes, how's it going? Like you can just imagine, like you've had a shit game. You're losing 3-0 to Arsenal at halftime. And I'd be running in there like throwing fists, like kicks. I'd be like headbutting people, like, what the fuck are you doing? This is your biggest. What the fuck is going on? I would be like, you take the top off and you do not play until you show him. Like, he's not that guy. And so because you don't have the kind of fear of a father figure, you don't have a lawmaker, right? So then you can never respect someone who doesn't lay down the law. You don't fight for your place, and you don't know how he wants you to play. So that's one of the biggest things I see as well, is that you see it a lot when players are going like, what? They're like, like they're looking for someone to come for the ball. And then someone comes and then they just pass it straight back, or they pass it to the side. And then the players are all going, what? Do you know what I mean? And that's because they don't know. And you know what the real shock about this is? Because of his character, those men feel like they are alone on the pitch. And as a football player, when you don't know what the strategy is, and when you see that the strategy you've been given, long ball over the top, like, and it doesn't work, you're dead. And so you're looking around like, we need something else. Like, this isn't going to work. A lot of the games I've seen, game's over like early, and you can see players are just like, heads are gone. And when that happens, you have really good players like Højbjerg and Romero, and Skip's got a lot of this in him as well, but they will resort to instinctual play. Dyer resorts to instinctual play, but he's not really a great player. His instinctual play will be pass to the side. I'm fucking tired of that. Ball over the top. And then you lose the ball. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't have a manager going, no, do this. This is how we do this. This is how we play out. This is how we play through a channel. This is how we set traps. Every part of the format, every game of the pitch, you have a tactic. You have a system that your team has to work with, and I don't see that. Does anyone see that? Because I'm dying for someone to tell me what is the system that we're playing, because the way that we set traps doesn't fit for the formation we're playing. So I'm going like, what's the actual system then? I can't figure it out. As a footballer of fucking 30 years, I cannot figure out what system You know, I say 30 years. I try to cut down my age there. It's longer than that. As a footballer of 10 years.
Can you play up front, Brains?
I wish. Oh man, it kills me. But don't you guys think that? Don't you think it's starting to look like it's coming down to the balls and the character of a coach? We don't have it. I'd rather Paratici was there because he'd be like, "Hey, fucking do it," you know.
Yeah, I don't know where that's gone, because at the beginning of the season you saw Paratici and Hitchin proper causing havoc on the sidelines.
There was talk that some of the players didn't like it, apparently, or something like
But
that.
like every time you look at the sidelines and Nuno's there, I mean, he's just standing there with his arms folded, just looking like a beaten man every time.
Probably why they didn't like it. Someone holding them accountable on the touchline is probably why they didn't like it.
But if you look at coaches like Thomas Frank, Potter, Moyles, right? They are dudes who are like, one, they can banter with you. They've got great senses of humor. They also can pull you in, take you under the wing, and like, give you a hug if you need. But then they're also disciplinarians, and they can give you shit, and they can be frank with you and be like, hey, this is it. You're the problem. They can, and if you take that out of football, and you take the kind of disciplinary side out of it, of like, look, hey, you're dropped. Winks should have been dropped. I tell you what, Winks would be a better player if he had a coach who was going, you're dropped, and this is what you need to fix. If you don't come back here and fix this part of your game, then you don't play again. Then you know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing that we don't have a coach who can be like a father, who can be a friend, who can be a boss, and like that's Poch what we need. Like Poch, exactly like Poch. Yeah. And that's the horrible thing. We're living in the kind of aftermath of a great coach that we had, who needed investment. He didn't need to kind of like have an asshole Dr. fucking evil style villain kind of tighten the purses around him. He needed support. He needed to upgrade the team to build a better system, to refresh the system. And all we did was just go tighten the purses. And it's like, well, fuck you, motherfucker. Now we're in this shithole. Sorry, I put a downer on this, but I mean,
did we win today? I can't quite remember.
We're through to the quarterfinals, everyone. We're through to the quarterfinals.
Celebration. Well, I'll tell you what, the positives is that I thought Skip was great in the first half. I thought Romero is like he's looking like quite a boss. Like he at one point, I was just kind of saying to my housemate, like, look how like cool he is on the ball. He's got that mentality, and then he gives the ball away, but then straight away he doesn't panic. The guy tries to get past him, bloop, dispossesses the guy, passes it on nicely. It's like he's got that side of his game. It's like he's got that calm collectiveness, and he's got that proper cunt. He's got the cunt in him. That's what I like to see. He's got that. He's got that. I can take a motherfucker out if I need to. Yeah, he's got that hitman about him. So yeah, no. So good performances. Lovely to see Gio spray the ball around positively. I thought he was. I sometimes I always just feel sorry for Gio in certain performances, because it's like he is such a quality player. And if you saw what happened to Gio as soon as Ndombele came on and Gio went into the defensive midfield role, gone from the game. He didn't no impact anymore. So I thought maybe Ndombele could have come on because Gio seemed to have momentum. So I thought Ndombele could have come on, because he sometimes falls deep anyway. He can be creative out the back. But I think with Gio, once you put him deeper, his head goes, well, I'm out of the game now. So I thought keep him up there. At least this game, because I thought he was doing so many good things,
That's the eternal struggle, isn't it? Getting Ndombele and Lo Celso in the side. We still haven't managed to do it, haven't we? Have we? Like, been nearly 3 years. We still haven't managed to get them both.
What happened to the trifecta?
Yeah, the trifecta. No.
It's just so hard to imagine a first team lineup without Skip and Højbjerg, because they're really solid. When one doesn't get you, the next one does, and they kind of play off that, And I can't see us. I would get way more worried than I already am every game if those two weren't playing. Wouldn't you guys?
Yeah. That's just reality, because we just get overrun, and we're easy to because we don't just become easy to defend against. We become easy to attack once they're not in the. At least with Skip and Højbjerg there, at least that gives us some protection, doesn't it?
I mean, they haven't played together in 2 games this season. That was Chelsea and Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Correct. So that shows you all you need to know.
Yeah. Right. Brains, absolute pleasure as always, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Next time I come on, I'll have a song for Guti Romero.
Oh yes, we're waiting for one.
That's what I like to hear. Come on, big up. We'll see you later, Brains.
All right,
Nice
dude.
one.
Shouts to Jack and Jory. I'll be listening to you motherfuckers and have a good time.
Cheers, mate.
Take care.
Nice one, Brain.